10 seconds.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the July 11th Planning Commission meeting. We'd like to start out with our invocation given by Commissioner Walker and Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Stafford. Please join us.
Heads bowed. Heavenly Father, may this meeting be fruitful, may our discussions be productive, and may we leave here today inspired to make a difference in the world around us. And I ask that you let us begin each meeting with respect, listen with empathy, and work together with purpose. We ask these things in your name. Amen.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All righty, let Bill get seated and we'll proceed. Mr. Starr, will you call the roll, please?
Sharma,
Present.
Yates,
Present.
Stafford,
present.
Scott, Gerke,
Present.
Collier,
Here.
Lamont,
Here.
Davis, Walker,
Here.
Val,
Here.
Campbell, Ramick.
Here. Okay, thank you, sir. Can I get an approval and a second, a motion and a second to approve the meetings last month's meeting minutes?
I move approval of last month's minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now may I have approval and a motion and a second for approval of tonight's agenda?
I have something to add to that, please, before the vote. The agenda will be amended by number 3, which has been requested by the applicant to be deferred to the September 12th regular Planning Commission meeting. And item number 4 has been deferred at the applicant's request to the August 8th Planning Commission meeting. So the agenda would be amended by those changes.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, now may I have a motion and second for approval of tonight's
I
minutes?
move approval as amended.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Okay, first item of business is our consent agenda, and I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Selman from there.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have one item on the consent agenda tonight, that is miscellaneous application 24089, a miscellaneous application request to extend the infrastructure completion bond to complete the required secondary access paving for the cottages at Bayshore subdivision. The recommendation, of course, is approval because the requirements of Hot Springs Code for extension have been met. The approval is with 2 conditions. I'll read those into the record. Approve the application to extend the completion deadline for the cottages at Bayshore Cove paving of the secondary access to July 1st, 2025, secured by the $27,000 irrevocable letter of credit with the following conditions. Number 1, provide ongoing and particulate mitigation until the road is improved and construction is complete to prevent dust and debris impacting the surrounding neighborhood. And number 2, compliance with all previous conditions of approval. And that completes the items on the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Styler, could you please call the roll to approve the consent agenda?
Just point of order, I don't know if we had a motion and second to approve the consent agenda with staff report findings and recommendations.
Second.
Okay.
So who made the motion?
Bill.
Okay. And do we
Two
have a
bills.
second?
Two Bill, Bill and Bill.
Bill and Bill.
Moved and seconded.
Okay, very good.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Is approved. Okay, now, can we go ahead and call the roll for the consent agenda?
Yates,
Aye.
Stafford,
Approve.
Gerke,
Approve.
Collier,
Approve.
Lamont,
Approved.
Walker,
Approve.
Val,
Approve.
Sharma,
Approve.
Approved.
Ramey.
So the consent agenda is approved. Next order of business is the new business. And Ms. Selman, would you please introduce the next item?
Thank you. The next item is a rezone request, RZ 24085, request to change zoning from R2 and C3 to M1 on properties located at 934 and 936 Golf Links Road and 138 Fontana Road.
Okay. We have any speakers?
Would you like a motion to approve?
Yes. Can I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve this item?
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
It's approved.
And for clarification, is that motion to approve including the staff report findings and recommendation?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Battery low?
Shouldn't be, there should be right now.
Technical adjustment here.
Take a little time out here to recharge our recorder.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, staff report?
Staff report, please.
Thank you very much. The applicants and property owners are Miss Linda Bright and Greg Siskey. They're seeking M1 light manufacturing zoning for approximately 2.2 acres of land at 934 and 936 Golf Links and 138 Fontana Road. Subject property is currently zoned C3, office neighborhood commercial, and R2, suburban residential. Has a future land use classification of commercial enclave and residential low density. It's in Board of Directors, District Number 5. Can't hear? Is this better? Is it
Can you hear
different?
us out there?
Get this far from your mic.
Oh. Is this better? Can you hear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you.
It's better.
All right, the surrounding properties are currently developed with a 1,320 square foot residential structure, utility buildings, approximately a 5,000 square foot feed and storage barn, and a 2,000 square foot automotive repair facility with truck rental shop. This facility has approximately 250 feet of street frontage along Golf Links Road and 160 feet of street frontage on Fontana Road. The property is situated approximately 550 feet from the junction of Golf Links and Shady Grove Roads. Surrounding zoning to the west is PD, Planned Development. To the south, R2, Suburban Residential. To the north, C3 Office Neighborhood Commercial, and to the east, C3 Office Neighborhood Commercial and R2 Suburban Residential. Adjacent and nearby land uses include but aren't limited to office, vacant, undeveloped land, daycare, and single-family residential. Okay, the findings regarding the future land use plan map are that Hot Springs Zoning Code Section 16-11D6 reads, if the proposed amendments are not consistent with future land use plan, Planning Commission shall first consider and adopt any necessary changes to the future land use plan. This property's future land use classification of residential low is not compatible with the requested M1 light manufacturing district zoning. The 936 Golf Links property, as well as other nearby commercial zone properties, have a land use classification of commercial enclave. With regard to the zoning map amendment, the applicant successfully demonstrates that the standards for favorable consideration have been met. Planning Commission is able to establish a basis for recommending to the Board of Directors that the proposed change demonstrates a public need for land so zoned, along with a future land use map change to designate the properties as commercial enclave. The recommendation to Planning Commission is that you recommend that the Board of Directors adopt an ordinance to amend the zoning map by designating the subject property M1 Light Manufacturing District because the change demonstrates a public need for land so zoned, and to amend the property's future land use map designation to commercial enclave. And that completes the staff report.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant here? Please, come to the mic and give us your name and address for the record, please. And you have 5 minutes. Yeah, you can both come, yeah.
I'm Greg Siskey.
Go ahead. Yeah, name and address, please.
I have the 138 Fontana
Okay,
and 164 Golf Links, or
Okay.
934 Golf Links.
okay, thank you.
Linda Bright with Bennett's Auto Service, 936.
Okay. All right, you have 5 minutes. Do you like to add anything to the director's report?
So the reason for the need for the expansion and the rezone is for expansion. For the past 20 years, I've leased the property down behind Xerox to service Oaklawn Racetrack. Recently, that has Amazon's bought it, and we lost that. I do roughly 82% as of this year of Oaklawn's racetrack work. For me to go outside of the city limits, it's just almost impossible logistically to make the deliveries during the 11 to 3 o'clock time slot that we're given that far away to meet the demands. So that's why we're asking for this to be rezoned. Also, I mean, I would really like to clean up the place. 934 is under a grandfather where I can only maintain it. And this is an option for us to kind of make it not such an eyesore when you go from Oaklawn towards the country club.
Okay.
I just believe Greg's gonna do some improvements. He's gonna make it better. He's gonna put up some privacy fences. His business is needed. Since the co-op moved several years ago, there's a lot of farmers and other people on this side of the county that need his services. And that's one of the main reasons that he needs to upgrade.
Okay,
And I'll be glad to help him anyway.
thank you.
Is that it? Thank you.
Okay, we have some people signed up to speak. Ms. Joyce Whitfield.
Good evening. My name is Joyce Whitfield. I live at 122 Sunflower Street. and I am the president of the Property Owners Association for the subdivision, which is just adjacent to Mr. Siskey's property. And I will be very brief. We, as the POA, I'm representing basically the POA and all of the properties in the subdivision. We have 35 homes there. And we see this as nothing but a positive request with positive results and extreme for not only he and his business, but also the adjoining neighborhoods, improvements in quality of life. So we are 100% for it, and I have not received any negative comment from any of the residents in the neighborhood, and believe me, if they weren't happy, I would hear them.
About that.
Yes. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Was that Linda Bryant first?
Yes.
Okay. Pat Sutherland.
Hello, my name is Pat Sutherland. I own the property at 940 Golf Links, which is on the corner of Fontana. We have owned that since 1991 and have a commercial building there, have had it leased to the current leasee since 2016. When I first heard of this zoning, or trying to rezone, I know one of the property owners, the Bennett's, and have worked with them for many years, have never had problems with them, but was concerned. In the last few days, I have heard other things about the business that is coming in with the hay and the grain. I don't think there's been any trouble with the hay. The barn has been there for many years. But with the grain coming in, I have heard reports of rodents, rats, but the subdivision hasn't mentioned that tonight, and that makes me feel better. It's my understanding that for an M1 zoning, that there needs to be 2 acres. One of my questions is, does the property owner have to have 2 acres? Or can multiple businesses go together to get this rezoning? Because neither property has 2 acres that are requesting this. My concern is for the residential. One thing is my tenants have a senior care center. They're on the corner. They require a quiet neighborhood. They tend to patients with dementia and Alzheimer's. So that's a big concern of mine, and for them and their business. My husband and I have been business owners in Hot Springs for over 38 years, and I am all for businesses, self-employed, and I encourage that. I'm for that. But if it hurts the residential community, I am strongly against it, and I am strongly against this. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, Stephen Jennings. Name and address, please, sir.
My name is Steve Jennings. My wife and I are building a house at 108 Thornberry Court, which essentially our backyard backs up to this dilapidated little house that we've been talking about, which everybody agrees is kind of an eyesore, and we'd be happy for it to be torn down and a nice barn put there. Our concern was that under an M zone, dozens and dozens and dozens of not very desirable businesses could go in there. Having talked with Greg, I don't think that's a particularly bad concern going forward. I hope he's correct. My question is, most of these undesirable businesses could be granted a conditional use permit under the existing zoning. However, warehousing, which is what he's going to be falling under, oddly enough, can't be given that kind of a exemption. Now, I was curious to the commission, why couldn't warehousing be included under the conditional permit system that most of these other things can be done to?
Did
you like to answer that, Ms. Summer?
I'd be happy to answer when all the comments are complete.
Okay. Okay,
All right.
thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay,
Okay. With regard to the 2-acre question, the request itself, regardless of the number of ownerships involved, must be a minimum of 2 acres. This is 2.2 acres. And that is a requirement of Hot Springs Code. So that standard has been met. With regard to what is and is not a conditional use, that too is established by Hot Springs Code. And at this time, warehouse is not a conditional use. It is a use by right in the M1 zone.
I understand that's the case, you don't mind that's the case. Why warehousing, which is pretty innocuous compared to most of these other barns and taverns, dog cemeteries? Why couldn't it be, why is it not being able to have a conditional use permit?
I'm not sure at all that I understand what you're saying.
I spoke with the gentleman yesterday. I think what he's asking is, with current zoning, why is it not a possibility to seek a conditional use approval and not be required to do a zoning change? Is that?
If I understand that is the code, I'm just curious why that's the code for warehousing.
That code was adopted in 2003. And although I've been here for 18 years, I was not here in 2003. So what thought process went into that? I'm sure it was thought about and discussed before a decision was made, but I can't tell you what exactly that discussion involved.
okay, commissioners, you have any questions?
I have a couple of questions.
Okay,
For the applicant, currently, I believe that the traffic comes in and goes off of Golf Links Road. Will that change?
Please come to the mic.
There won't be any commercial traffic on Fontana. The entrance and the exit will stay the same as it is now at 934 Golf Links.
Okay, so no traffic will come off of
No
that onto
commercial.
Fontana.
I would like to have a private access for like a car or for a truck that'll go into a garage in the back of the building that comes off Fontana for times whenever my wife goes up in the evenings to do the book. She can pull in, shut the garage door behind her and go in the back of the office. But as far as commercial trucks, 1-ton trucks or anything like that, or delivery trucks, any sort of freight trucks, there's not going to be any access on Fontana. I want to fill up as much of that. I believe y'all said it was 160 foot of road frontage on Fontana. I think that would leave me somewhere around 110 foot of building that I could put there. I want to use as much of it as I can for that. While I'm up here, am I allowed to address the concern about the rodents?
yes, go ahead.
So, I didn't remember your name, and I'm sorry. But as far as the rodents go, the rodents are a concern for me. Rodents cost me money. They cost me a lot of money. The condition of the building that I'm in right now, it's dirt floor. Like I said, it's grandfathered. I can't do anything except for maintain it. The building that I'm wanting to put in will be a concrete floor building. It's going to be climate controlled to where that it can, I can preserve the grains longer without the humidities, the cold weather, breaking up the molasses, things of that nature. We're also going to have a rodent policy. I mean, it's going to be like a real warehouse instead of what we're having to work out of the last 20 years. Is there anything else?
I have another question while you're here. Just share again your plans for the expansion. Does expansion mean just increase in existing types of operations?
Talk just a hair louder, sir.
Okay, does the expansion, share your plans for expansion, does that mean just increase in the volume of hay and grain and any other activities? You plan to build a warehouse?
The volume's already there.
Okay.
So what I'm wanting to do is I want to add a building, and I want to update the existing building and put a new face on it. I'm at a point where I want to be proud of business, and the reason for the location is, as I stated earlier, logistics. But all I'm wanting to do is add a building on the 138 Fontana property, and it will actually face the 934 golf links. The back of that building will just be the back of a building. There'll be a privacy fence. We plan to put horticulture in that will grow, that's fast-growing evergreens, to where the people in the neighborhood across the street from Fontana, I'm hoping over 3 to 4 years, they don't see anything except for some bushes when they sit on their back porch. As far as the noise for the corner lot, I mean, the warehouse is going to be ran on propane forklifts and electric. They're almost silent. So, I mean, during the day, there's going to be some noise. I mean, we're working and we work hard.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
I hope this is a rhetorical question. You collect City of Hot Springs sales tax on the sale of all your goods?
As we get into grain, we will, but right now we're tax exempt on baled products.
Okay. But you're already selling the grain anyway, though, right?
But most of what we sell to right now is farms, and they're already tax exempt.
Okay.
They submit their tax stamps.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well spoken, Ms. Yates. I'm wondering where you get all that knowledge.
Pardon me?
Speaking to her.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Okay, is that it?
It's up to y'all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, the public portion of the meeting is now closed. Mr. Stoller, will you please call the roll?
I was just gonna make a note. You know, that barn is like a landmark, it's been there forever, Billy Jackson had it. And when we moved there, we bought it for the parking. And always tried to figure out something to do with it, but I believe the zoning problem was the height of the building. We couldn't
Stephen
do
Jones.
anything because of the height of the building. I just wanted to interject that. It needs to, the zoning needs to be upgraded, I believe, so we can improve.
Okay. Could we have your name and address for the record, please?
Lynn Bright,
And your address, please?
936 South Lake Road.
All right, thank you. Okay, we ready? Okay, Mr. Stoller, please call the roll for approval of the agenda item.
Stafford,
Approve?
Gerke,
Approve.
Collier,
Approve.
Lamond,
Approve.
Walker,
Approved.
Val,
Approve.
Sharma,
Approve.
Yates,
Approved.
and Ramey.
Approved. So the item is approved.
Right. The Board of Directors will make the final decision on this request. Planning Commission action is a recommendation to the Board of Directors. Board of Directors will hear this item at their meeting on August 6th. August 6th.
August 6th.
This room, 6 o'clock, August 6th, Board of Directors, if you wish to be involved in that decision-making as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The next two items have been rescheduled. So at this point, I guess we'll just go ahead and end the meeting and
Oh, no.
do the election.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next item on the agenda is the annual election of Planning Commission officers.
And is there anyone who wants to indicate that he is not interested in being reappointed or serve in this capacity?
Yeah, that would be me.
Okay. So our chairman is not interested in continuing to serve. I know, it's shocking. It's shocking.
I'm already chairman on another commission, so.
If he's out, I'm out.
No, this is not the way it works.
Oh,
It really isn't.
What?
It's not.
tell me what I ought to say then.
I'm taking over. I'm taking over, Rick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Could be exciting.
What we need is, first of all, a nomination for chair of the Planning Commission. then we will entertain motions that do not include Mr. Ramick, who is insisting that he will not serve.
I'm not insisting, I'm just saying I'm not going to.
Okay, well, sounded insistent to me.
I nominate Bart.
Okay. Any additional nominations? Apparently not. All right, nominations for chair are closed. We have one person nominated, and that is Bart. I know who you are, Bart. I know what your name is.
Right name.
So would we like a voice vote on that? Is that adequate, as we
Yeah.
have only
No,
one?
we don't have to do roll call if you just want to do voice.
Okay. Those in favor of Bart for chair?
Aye.
That sounded unanimous to me. Okay. Now, congratulations, by the way.
Great campaign.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll get you for this, Bill.
And this might be your opportunity.
Yeah.
Now we have nominations for vice chair. The vice chair will serve in the absence of the chair. I'd be worried. Nominations for vice chair.
Bill Lamont.
Second.
Oh, here we go. Okay. Do we have additional nominations?
Okay.
We have-
Bill Lamont has been nominated for the vice chair position. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? You're it.
Okay, so congratulations to Bart and Bill, and thank you for your willingness to serve. And thank you, Mr. Ramick. You have been the ad hoc chair for so long now and have served with such grace.
Thank
So
you
thank
very
you
much.
very much. And also, I must thank Mr. Walker, who has more times than I can count, been told with about 2 minutes' notice, we need a chair. And as senior member of the commission, you have always stepped up, and again, with such grace. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you for being here and making the tough decisions. And we're now heading into a new administration, so get ready to put your shin guards on if you're going to sit next to me.
Here you
So,
go, practice.
yeah. I guess you could probably practice by asking for a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.